Hello all, welcome to our YouTube channel, and today in this video we are going to learn CSS. In the previous video we have already seen HTML, and so now let's see something about CSS. If you haven't watched the previous video, make sure to watch them. But if you know HTML already, there is no need at all. You can just continue with this video. So let's start. So here we are on W3 School website. This is an amazing website if you are learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, as this website explains everything very clearly. Because if you are trying to learn from videos, none of the videos is going to tell you everything because it is just impossible to cover every topic. So if you want to get additional help, you can always refer to this website, or you can also search and go to Mozilla Developer if you are a little bit experienced in reading documentation. But for a beginner, this website is pretty cool. So let's see what is CSS. Here it is just saying the full form of CSS, that is cascading style sheets. What basically the CSS does is it just take our HTML file and do some decoration. Like it is just used for changing color or giving motion effects or different type of effects to our HTML so that it look amazing. Here is a live example to this website that I wanted to show you all. Here you can see, welcome to my homepage. This is made by CSS. Let's see how does it look in simple HTML. Look. This is how the website look without CSS. And now start noticing the differences. In style 1, it looked like this. With help of CSS, the same HTML, now this is completely changed. Now again to the style sheet 3, now it is already also completely changed. Now style sheet 4, it is completely changed. So you can see here like how much CSS can affect your website and how much attractive it can make your website and you. So let's learn how you can do this. So I have already written up this simple HTML code that anyone can basically understand, and we are basically trying to understand CSS in this HTML file. I am using VS Code because it provides live preview. With the help of live preview, I can just, without even need of saving, I can just watch the changes reflect in real time. So this is very interesting feature of VS Code. And if you are learning any programming language, this VS Code is just perfect, like for anything. For app development, for machine learning, for Python, for C++, for Java, like everything it have like everything. So let's start. So there are basically 3 ways of using CSS. First is inline CSS. So let's see what it is. Inline CSS, what you can do is you can just inside any of your tag, like if you want to change the color of your heading tag, you can just go inside the heading tag, press one spacebar and just write style. And here you can define your style, like if you want to change your color to be green. And you can see as soon as we write green, the changes are reflected onto our website. Let's learn CSS. So this is pretty common way of using CSS, but this is not generally used because coming to every single tag and editing that, it is like literally a headache if you are just going to write an entire website like that. So another interesting thing that we use is inside HTML, we can also initialize CSS file. We can also use CSS by just writing inside our HTML style. Once you write this style, you can just perform CSS here too. And one of the most common way that is generally used in industry standard is linking to a CSS file. Just go to your head section and just write link. Rel means relation to style sheet, that is just basically telling that this link is a style sheet, means CSS, and then you provide your CSS file. Well, I have already written a small CSS here and I am just going to tag it to our main HTML file. So for that, it is present in my same directory, so I will just write style.css. And once, as you can see that as soon as I linked my HTML file to my CSS file, the changes are reflected to my HTML. So let's see what is inside our CSS file. So basically the first thing that we should learn in any programming language is commenting, like how you can comment. For commenting in CSS we have this slash asterisk and asterisk slash just for opening and closing. So if you write basically just anything inside it, it is just going to be commented out. Your code is not going to see it. It is just for our personal benefits. Let's see what we have done here. So let me remove this first so that we can have a clear understanding. So this is also another way of using CSS inside our HTML file. But let's see one more interesting feature. Let me just remove it for now. One more way of using CSS in our HTML is by using this style tag. If you want to just use heading, for instance, if I want to select heading, I will write h1. And now let's start playing with our CSS. If I want to change the color of my heading, I'll just write color. I'll just write color, color. And from here I can pick any color. And as you can see, the changes are reflected in real time. Now let's see some more common feature. Like for that you need to just write body. And as you can see, once you select body, everything, because our HTML page that we are currently viewing is just body. So once you select the body and change the background color, the changes are reflected everywhere. And once you use asterisk, what asterisk is basically doing is it is just selecting every single tag and it is just coloring accordingly. So this is basic difference between asterisk and selecting the body tag. So let's keep the color of our body this blue, or you can easily change this color to anything that you want. But for changing background, we can also write background. And as you can see, the changes are made in real time, and this background color is just overwritten by this our background. There is some difference between background color and using background that we are going to see in little future. Of course, I will try to cover them in this video, but let's see some more interesting thing. What if you want to change this? What is CSS? You can just write simply h3. Well, we don't have any h3, so let me change it to h4. That's why the changes are not reflected. So you can see with the font size 40, we can just zoom everything out. Just let me fix it to like 20. Oh, damn. 20 is pretty nice. And now let's see some more way of using color. You can also write color color. And you can also specify in RGB. And here you can specialize red, blue and green. Here you can specify red, green and blue. So what you basically need to do is, just let me write, let's get rid of this. And if you want to make it red, you just write 255:0:0, and you can see it is basically red. Another way of using color is color is by using hex code. So hex code are basically starting with hashtag, like FFF is already there, and 6 times F is just basically for white. You can also find the hex code on your Google Chrome. You just need to search color codes and you will get everything. Like you will get RGB, you will get hex code, you will get RGBA. Let's see RGBA first, then you will understand what is RGBA. COLOR RGBA. Here we have to provide 4 parameters: red, blue and green, and one is A. A stands for alpha, like the value of alpha range between 0 and 1. This is just basically used to set the contrast of your color, like how dark the color is going to be. It is going to, 1 signifies pure dark and 0 signifies like nothing. So let's see that in action. 0 comma 255 for green, comma 0 comma 1, and you can see it is pure green. Once you remove green, just write 0. It is just transparent, it is not going to be visible. If you write 0.5, you can see that change. It is little bit dim in color. So like this you can use the color tag in whatever way you want, but let me just remove it. I was liking the white color. So now let's have a look at div tag that we basically use, like div. Put our little form inside our div tag. Now everything inside this is inside our div tag. So now let's make changes to our div tag. For making changes to our div, let me just work out here one more style. Just write div, and now we are going to see more features like border color, border width. For border we have BOR. For setting border we will just write border. First let me specify the color. Border color, let me make it say green. Here you are not able to see anything because we have not specified the border width. So let's do that. Border width W. You can also provide them in pixels, like 20 pixel, and you also need to specify border style. Here let's make it dotted, and you can see this ugly border inside our div tag. So let me just make it little bit cool. Here the 2 pixel is just amazing, it's looking perfect. Well, instead of, if you are just lazy like me and if you don't want to write them in 3 line, what you can do is you can just write BORDER, and you can just write here pixel means the width. You can just write pixel, width and the color. So like 3 pixel, double, it's just another thing, color green, and you can see the changes. You don't need to write this all 3 boring lines. If you just know the right way, you can just write them in a single line. So this was basically this first video. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel to continue to watch more videos. So thanks for watching.